We Black people struggle with seeking validation. We seek validation everywhere we go. We don't feel like we are enough just to show up. We want to fit in. So we are looking for someone else to give their stamp of approval that we can enter. Now, we're going to talk about this issue. I pulled a video to get us started. Let's watch this short video, and then we're going to dig right into this issue. Black people struggle seeking validation. Here we go.
We didn't care about integrating. We didn't want to integrate. That's what people don't get if they don't know history. We never asked for integration. We just wanted equal rights because you were taking our tax money. That's all they were asking for. They gave you that bullshit to shut you up. You see what I'm saying? Oh, we gonna give you. We didn't ask for civil rights. We asked for equal because you was taking our taxes, and then we didn't understand the psychology behind what they've done to us to say in order to be better, white people got to validate us because they didn't see black people exodus taking money out their neighborhoods the way they did. So when we integrated, all the schools went away, the doctor's office went away. Remember, we couldn't go to this stuff, so we had our own doctor's office, our own shoemakers, our own. It went away because the psychology of if this white person takes my money, I'm validated.
Okay. So why is this? She touched on a little in the video, but we all know a lot of it comes from slavery. Because number one, people, those of us who are in America, those of us who are Black in America, and our families came up the slavery chain, then that's all you know is from slavery. Because they wiped out all of your memories before that. That's why we don't even know where we came from. It was all wiped out. Like we were fresh new people. And then they molded us in a way that they wanted us to be. Now, think about it. No other race of people is struggling with validation like the Blacks. That's intentional, people. And now I'm going to speak directly, really, to the women here, because I think women always get the bottom of the barrel when stuff is coming down. They're the last ones to get it. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is to be independent women. That independence is the only way to freedom. When I was growing up, there was a saying that was a song that came out, God bless the child that's got his own. And when I was growing up and I used to hear that song, why? Yeah. What was the deal? But after growing up and being on my own and seeing what life brings, I realized God bless the child that he can pay his own way and not have to rely on anybody else. All right? Lady, this is going to be freeing for you. I need for you to really listen clearly. Even if you work for somebody else right now, put something aside that you can work with for yourself. You can make a passive income yourself. So if something happens over here, maybe Mr. What's his name or Miss So-and-so might get tired of you, might want to lay you off, might can't pay you anymore. Then what you going to do if you have nothing else? You need something that you can depend on, something that you have built. You see, don't give up your dreams. And unfortunately, ladies, a lot of us give up our dreams seeking validation. Seeking validation. It starts from our own families. If you want to be on the end, then you'll follow mommy and daddy's instruction. When I was growing up, I always wanted to be a graphic artist. That was my dream, but my mother's dream for me was to be a teacher. Well, I didn't want to be a teacher. To me, teaching was being a young girl, I just thought it was boring to do the same things over and over and over every day, and the only thing that got older in there was the teacher. You have fresh students every day. It just seemed like, no, it wasn't for me. And it's funny that I'm doing it now, but back then I couldn't see it. So I went on my artist way, and I did not go the teaching way, although it has always been there in the background somewhere. Always been there. And even on the jobs that I chose were, kind of a teaching experience because, I was a project manager of a community program that taught people to help children in school and that kind of thing. So, it all just kind of came around anyway. But the whole thing about it is, I did my own thing and I did not seek validation. And I was happier because the route that I took, it was a roundabout way, but, I got a lot of experience out of it. But many of us, we will just go along with the program that our parents have laid out for us because of that validation. We want their approval, their stamp of approval, and that just kind of that support that you're going to be okay. Because really, when I took off and did my thing, I didn't have any support. I had to do it on my own because I made my own decision. And what I'm telling you is from this example, this is how you need to be. You need to be able to do your own thing when you want to, at will, and not to be tied down to something. Now, think about it, people. When you really look at things, you have been trained to do what you're doing. From the time that you went to school, you have been trained to do exactly what you're doing right now, and not really to think outside of the box and to build something for yourself. So, this is kind of a radical concept because even when I was coming up through the ranks, I was taught, you go to college, you get a job at one of the big corporations and you're set for life. That's what I heard. And a lot of people in my generation, that's exactly what they did. But then, when I look at them now, they may have, the funds, to retire on or whatever. But many of them are not happy. Many of them are sick because they stayed on those jobs and the jobs were stressful and, they stuck it out in the whole bit. And they had to do a lot of things to stay on those jobs to get that validation, to get that approval, or you wouldn't move up in the ranks. You see? So it's everywhere. And now, even when you go to your houses of worship, it's the same thing. You go there to seek validation that you can be part of, of the congregation. You want to be embraced by the congregation and feel that you are supported by them. You see, people, we are in a new age now. And it's time for people to have a new way of thinking, and especially Black people. All right. Black people, during slavery, we all gathered at the houses of worship because that was a safe haven for us. And, but nowadays, is it still? When you run to your houses of worship, is it still a safe haven? Many of the houses of worship are funded by the government. That's where they get their big money from the government. So they're funded by the government. And as long as that is, but then the government is really the ultimate control over that. And you go there, to seek more validation. People, I believe that in this age, it's time for us to rethink ourselves. A number of us are waking up slowly, but then a number of us are still set in those old beliefs, waiting for Jesus to come down and save us. Okay. And I really think that it's time for you to go deep inside yourself and find the strength, the God-given strength that you have. Instead of looking outside yourself for somebody else to deliver you. When you have the strength to deliver yourself, Black people, all you got to do is believe in yourself and stop looking for other people to give you approval. That's where a lot of us get caught up. We're constantly looking for approval. And that's why we go and try to make ourselves up to look more like the people we're seeking approval from, so they don't be threatened by us. They feel more comfortable in giving us that validation. You know, the closer that we look and act like them, right? And Black people, please don't teach your kids to follow that pattern. We need independent thinkers in the Black community. And a number of us are, but, we hide it, for a number of reasons. We don't want to be criticized. And a lot of our, inventions or whatever have been stolen over the years. That is a fact. But, there is some monies in the Black community, and hopefully, some of those people would fund a project to build the Black community. I'm sure some of them, they have some concern about the community getting on its feet again. But for women, don't wait for men to do it for you. You need to get out of your head that once you get married, all of your problems and troubles are going to be taken care of because you can depend on him. You're fooling yourself. You know how many divorces there are today? You know how many people don't even last a month or two after the wedding? The wedding is the big thing. And after the big party, and they have to go home with this dude, they don't know him and don't even like him. So that's why the marriage falls apart. Why'd she get married? Validation. A number of ways. She was chosen to be his bride. The parents are happy because she could show her friends and her family that she can get a man. That's validation. All right? And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Looking for other people's approval. That you're on the right path, whether it makes you happy or not, ladies. I say, be strong, be confident, and most of all, be independent. Independent. I know there was a comment by one young man. He says, "Oh, is she teaching you all how to be alone?" Well, what's wrong with that? Being independent does not mean that you live your life alone. You might not marry anybody, but you don't have to live your life alone. You can have a life partner and have more fun with a life partner than you could if you married him. It's something about that legal document that locks people together, and it suffocates the union. And something is suffocating it because people are not staying together. You got to look at that. Ladies, think about these things. Now, I know you from a little girl, you dreamed of wearing this dress and the whole bit. Well, do it. Just don't sign the document. Have your wedding. If that's what you want, have your big fabulous wedding. But do not sign a legal document. In the eyes of your God or whoever you serve, you can pledge it to him or her, and you marry. You don't need the government to be in your business. All right, that's just my that's just my opinion about the whole thing, because I know people, I am not telling you to be alone. Don't get that, because you have a wonderful partner. That's the best thing you can have. A wonderful, supportive, loving partner. Who wouldn't want that? But if you don't want some jerk off that's constantly pulling you down and sucking all of your energy. And ladies, if you start loving yourself and stop looking for a man to take care of you, be independent. You save yourself from a lot of heartbreak and pain, and you actually have a happier life. And if you want a companion, have a companion. But I wouldn't rush to marry him, and that's my opinion. I hope you understand the message today, and I really hope that it helps someone. Now, those of you who may have a question that you'd like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. And if you're looking for today's affirmation, meditation, and movement, the link is also in the description. I want to thank you so much for supporting this channel. Thank you for your comments and your letters. And a very special thank you to those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. I wish you all the very best and happiness, and I really hope to see you next time.